Johnny Murray here, and welcome back to Excitenight. Tonight, we're going to be putting the spotlight on The Last of Us Part 1. So, man, this is to be honest, this is an Excitenight that I've not necessarily been looking forward to. I'm not very excited about this game. I'll be real. I'm not very excited. I love the first game. I really, really do. But I don't understand why we need a remake of it. I really don't. But anyway, yeah. Last of Us Part 1 is a remake of just The Last of Us. I love Last of Us Part 1. Last of Us Part 2 ruined it all for me. And I just don't really... I don't know, man. We're going to jump in. We're going to take a deep dive. There's a couple trailers we need to check out for this. But maybe when I rewatch the trailers, I'll get sold somehow. Maybe. I don't know. There is one trailer that's like 10 minutes long that I haven't even watched at all. So it'll be kind of be like a first impression. You're getting my actual reaction to it. But yeah, so as always, with everything we do, we start with the announcement trailer, and this is not the announcement trailer. We start with the announcement trailer, and this was actually, believe it or not, announced very recently at Summer Games Fest. They closed the show with this, and to be honest, it was a really lame close. I'll be honest. I did not like this being the last thing at all, but it was.
I reckon it's got something to do with that girl.
It's got everything to do with that little girl.
Right off the bat, you can already see the visuals are so much better than the original. Now, yes, I get that. They're going to be better, more modern time, I get it. But that doesn't mean the originals were bad. The originals still hold up today.
So is that everything you hoped for?
Can't be any worse out there. Can it?
Once upon a time, I had somebody that I cared about. And in this world, that's good for one thing. Get you killed.
I can take care of myself.
How many close calls have we had?
I get into trouble down there. You make every shot count.
I got this.
Hope you know how to use that thing.
Yeah, I mean, really, my only issue about The Last of Us now is the story. If they keep the first Last of Us, like, if they keep this faithful to the original, awesome. I'm really happy. Like, I wouldn't mind playing it if they kept it faithful. But with things that Naughty Dog been doing recently, I can't say that's going to be the case. Now, do I think it looks good? Yeah, I think it looks good. I don't see any reason why I shouldn't say it looks bad. If I said it looks bad, I'm just being a hater, and that's not me. It's just the original with better graphics, change of camera angles to make it look more cinematic, more modern. Nothing looks bad about it. It's just, will the story mess it up? Will the story mess it up? Are they changing the story to be different? Because if that's the case, we're gonna have an issue. Now, they did release this trailer recently, like a couple days ago, because there has been a huge backlash saying this is going to be a huge cash grab. This is just a cash grab. This is useless, which I do agree. I think this is kind of a cash grab. I think there's no point in this remake. But they did reveal this trailer, and they announced the they released the trailer to try and calm fans down. They tried to release the trailer to do damage control, to like say, hey, no, this isn't just a cash grab. Unfortunately, from the sounds of it, it kind of proved everybody right that it was kind of just being a cash grab. I've heard the gameplay changes are close to none. Like, there are no gameplay changes, and they only focus on visuals. So, and like controls and stuff. So, let's see. Let's check it out. I have not seen this trailer. It is a little bit of a long one, but let's check it out. Give it the look it deserves. You can't judge something unless you have seen everything there is to offer.
I'm coming.
More than 2 years ago, when we were finishing Last of Us Part 2, and we were working on those flashbacks within that scene for the first game, we got excited with the idea of like, oh man, what if we made The Last of Us Part 1 to look as good, if not better, than what we have done with Last of Us Part 2, which we really pushed the boundaries of like what we could do from gameplay and a graphical standpoint, and felt like if we do that, we could actually come even closer to our original vision of what the first game would have been had we not been constrained by technology.
I get that. I absolutely get that. Like, that is not something I'm upset about. Like, if you truly wanted to make the game, all power to you. But you got to convince me that this is worth my time and money to get. That's all I'm saying.
Creative vision of The Last of Us, I think in a lot of ways was larger than what the PlayStation 3 was capable of.
The tech of the PS5, it's like an open box of tools and goodies that we can play from and draw from. The 4K, HDR, improved haptics, 60 frames, help us to reimagine The Last of Us. It gave us opportunities to rebuild our characters at the highest fidelity. Not only are the characters more detailed, I mean down to the irises.
I love the color changes. It makes it look more dark. I like that.
Aside from that, the facial animation is just way more believable. Like all the nuances, all the little.
That is something I really do like. That is something I would definitely be down for. Right. So like, if you're remaking the game to put visuals at the first and foremost, the facial expressions better be top notch, and that does seem like a thing that they're focusing on is the facial expressions, and so I think that is definitely something
glances, glares, right? Like you get all of it almost closer to sort of the original performances.
So no matter what, you stick to me like glue.
Like glue.
Like glue. Got it. Good. Good.
We are able now to not only just have the highest fidelity characters in the cutscene, but also in gameplay. It's the same character, so now we can do these seamless transitions in and out. Every part of the game has benefited from seamless transitions and emotional scripting.
Pretty good, huh?
Our stories happen in gameplay, on a stick.
She knew my mom.
All this stuff is designed to keep you constantly in this world.
Riley, come here. Now you got this, go.
One of the things that the PlayStation 5 is really enabling is that we're able to have a density of physics objects in a scene that we could never do before. Like, this has always been the dream, is to have this number of bumpables, chippables, breakables, destructible objects in a scene. It just makes the world feel rich, makes it feel lived in.
I get it, yeah.
Materials kind of have the properties that you'd expect. The turret truck in Pittsburgh, when it's firing at you and it's just ripping apart the concrete and sending objects flying left and right.
Seeing things break, like there's fear, there's a real fear that it invokes.
And it's giving us a much more dynamic range of gameplay to play with.
Surround him!
Our AI tech has just increased incredibly. What we were building the basis off of was The Last of Us Part 2.
Updating AI is always a good thing.
It has sophisticated systems for things like the fundamental knowledge model of how these NPCs perceive and understand what the player is much more sophisticated.
Now how the enemies are communicating with each other, how they're chasing you, how they're flanking you, how intense that fight feels, it's so much more rewarding coming out of it from the other side.
Get out!
One of the other big AI improvements is the buddies. The buddies technology that we developed for The Last of Us Part 2 has this very sophisticated understanding of like, okay, this is where the enemies can see their exposure. We not only have exposure, we have future exposure. So buddies can know, okay, that enemy is walking forward and they're about to round this corner. So in 3 seconds, that corner is going to be exposed. So I'd better move now to avoid this enemy seeing me. This really lets the buddies make very complex decisions and maintain that feeling of stealth much more believably. Another big enhancement to the gameplay is that we have this technology called motion matching. Motion matching is this technology that's basically using logic that tries to match the desired movement to a bucket of hundreds of animations. A mocapped actor has gone in and run this whole gauntlet of movements to get a really full set of all the different ways a person can move. And then it's basically every frame trying to find the best matching animation that fits the path of where the character is going to go. And this motion model just gives this really seamless sense of transition. The player's movement is just a lot cleaner. It's this really smooth, organic movement through the space.
First, we just had to build that core experience. And then beyond that, we wanted to add several features that fans have been asking for.
Like photo mode.
For example, we
Makes
now have a
sense.
permadeath mode.
Oh.
Along that, we've added a brand new speedrun mode, so players can time themselves. There's a whole community of gamers that just want to see how fast they can play through this game. Beyond that, we added a bunch more of unlockables. So there's all these different outfits for Ellie and Joel that people can unlock. A model viewer mode, so people can really appreciate the details. We added award-winning accessibility features.
Every single accessibility option that we offer, that's a barrier removed for someone.
As she surveys the apartment, her eyes wander to Joel. She steps past the couch. He wears the wristwatch Sarah gifted him, which now has a cracked face.
To my knowledge, this is the first PlayStation game that has audio description built into the game, built into the cinematics.
Now it's nighttime. Joel stirs in his sleep.
And that's really the way we've tried to push the frontier of accessibility on this game.
That's good. You like that.
So much of the identity of The Last of Us is the world.
We revamped completely the art direction. You know, everything from these expansive vistas that not only are they beautiful, but you feel the environments. You feel the environments in a much more visceral way. The rooftops overlooking the Capitol building, for example, like just the breath of fresh air when you go up there and you just like, you feel that sort of release in tension. And then, you know, to juxtapose that down in the tunnels in Wilds, and you get that dank, flooded tunnel feel, that humidity, you can actually feel it. All these environments are just completely reimagined.
Now we got our engine on the PS5, those haptics, the 3D audio, the fast loading. It really creates a much more immersive, and because of that, much more emotional experience.
One of the things I absolutely love with the 3D audio in The Last of Us Part 1 is being able to hear an enemy before they sneak up on you. And trying to do a stalker fight with the 3D audio is just so much fun. You're hearing them skitter around in a different room, and you're
I like that.
hearing them
Adding
trying to
more
get behind
audio
you.
features. That's cool.
Having that two-part reaction of like hearing, turning, seeing, reacting, it's just really heightens that sense of just being grounded. You are in this character, you are in this world. Now, with the PlayStation 5, the amount of control that developers have over the DualSense, it's really, really cool. All the guns in the game have a variable amount of resistance on the triggers when you aim them. The way it works with the bow is that at the very beginning, when they're starting to draw the bow, there's a little bit of resistance. And then as the bow gets tauter and tauter, the amount of resistance is increasing. And then when you release the bow, you're also getting that resistance going out of the trigger. When you are aiming and firing the shotgun, you're going to get a haptic vibration on the shot. And then what I think is one of the ways that the DualSense really advances things is you're going to get a haptic vibration on the pump of the shotgun. And what's much more sophisticated about that on the DualSense is that in effect has a little like speaker in it. And it's playing an audio file that comes through in the vibrations. And those two beats is what you're going to feel on the controller.
Looks like a good spot.
I don't know if I like that.
This also ties in to the new workbench animations. So if you're seeing Joel taking apart a gun or screwing something in or putting a new stock on a gun, that moment where he's like jamming that on, you're going to get that haptic feedback on that. We have, you know,
maybe I like that. I don't know.
For all the moments you kind of
I don't know. In my personal experience, whenever the controller has like a sound effect that comes out of the speaker itself, it's not always like the coolest thing. I don't know. It's hit or miss sometimes. So I don't know if they do it right. Maybe.
Clambering,
I don't
jumping, landing, meleeing, getting meleeed, like all those
I don't
kind
think
of
it's a bad thing, I
high-intensity
just-
moments we
I don't know.
have represented in the haptics. What I personally absolutely adore is the way we can enhance the really like quiet, subtle moments of gameplay. So it's like when Joel goes in to pet the giraffe, getting that little light touch on the haptics as he's petting the giraffe.
Okay.
To me, that's the essence
That's
of The Last
cool.
of Us. It's the high tension moments, it's the low tension moments, it's all of it feeling grounded. It's you're feeling immersed in this world. It's all about bringing you along with that story in as many ways as we can, and that's what the new technology on the PlayStation 5 is allowing.
Was that everything you hoped for?
Jury's still out.
There's something special about that core experience of playing as Joel and Ellie on this journey. Then to take that experience and really honor it and keep the authenticity of it, but elevate it in every way possible, whether it's pipeline, whether it's art direction, whether it's technology, everything that allows us to make that experience better. Not different, extremely better. That's why, to me, this is the definitive way to play The Last of Us.
Huh. Okay. So you know what? I thought that was a pretty good trailer. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be real. I liked everything that they explained there. I think the AI changes is great. I think a lot of the audio changes is great. I like the visual changes, of course. I don't know. I think it's good. The only issue I have, which is the biggest issue still, they talked nothing about the story. We do not know if they're remaining faithful. We do not know if they're changing things up. They told us nothing about the story, and they didn't tell us anything about like the aiming or the shooting. Like they didn't tell us anything about the actual gameplay, just the visuals and audios of the and the vibration. They didn't say anything about the actual like controls and the features of gameplay. I don't know. I would definitely be down to play it. Is the thing. I'd be down to play it, absolutely. But the big issue, which I'm gonna say right now, even more than the story, the biggest issue is the thing we are about to look at. It is $70, ladies and gentlemen. They put a $70 price tag on a game that is being remade that hasn't even been out hasn't even been out for 10 years. They have made fans buy this game 3 times in the last 10 years. When it first came out, the remastered, and now the remake. How much more money do you need for The Last of Us 1? I don't understand. $70 is so much for a remake that doesn't need a remake. If it was 50, I would really like it to be 40. If it was 40 or 50, yeah, I'd be down. Okay, fair. But they're making this a full-on priced, new release, new title. Like, I don't know, man. It's just not a good price. There's things about the game itself that are questionable. But I have to say, I think the trailer they put out is really good. It kind of got me excited, I'm not going to lie. But there's still so many issues. But yeah, let's take a look at the website. Last of Us Part 1, Sony Interactive Entertainment, Naughty Dog, of course. Release date, September 2nd, 2022. So there you go. If you didn't know the release date, there you go. September 2nd. So pretty close, actually. Some pictures, videos. Game over. Endure and survive. Relive the beloved game that started it all. Rebuilt for the PlayStation 5 console. Experience the emotional storytelling and unforgettable characters in The Last of Us. Winner of over 200 Game of the Year awards. Yes, agreed. In a ravaged civilization where infected and hardened survivors run rampant, Joel, a weary protagonist, is hired to smuggle 14-year-old Ellie out of a military quarantine zone. However, what starts as a small job soon transforms into a brutal, cost-crunchy journey. Includes the complete Last of Us single-player story and celebrated prequel chapter, Left Behind, which explores the events that changed the lives of Ellie and her best friend Riley forever. Okay, that's interesting. So you do get the prequel chapter, Left Behind. That's okay. That's cool. Last was Part 1 key features. Rebuilt for the PlayStation 5. Completely rebuilt from the ground up using Naughty Dog's latest PS5 engine technology with advanced visual fidelity, fully integrated DualSense wireless controller features, and more. A faithful remake. Okay. Interesting. Let's see. Experience the emotional storytelling and unforgettable characters of Joel and Ellie in The Last of Us, and explore the events that changed the lives of Ellie and her best friend Riley forever in the critically acclaimed prequel chapter Left Behind. I mean, that told me nothing about how faithful you're being. Okay. All new experience. A total overhaul of the original experience. Faithfully reproduced but incorporating modernized gameplay mechanics, improved controls, and expanded accessibility options. Feel immersed in improved environmental storytelling. I like that a lot. Effects, facial animations, and enhanced exploration and combat. So they keep on using the word faithful a lot. So a faithful remake, this section kind of gave me a little hope. I'm not going to lie. It sounds like they're just sticking with the original story. Here's what I would say. Here's what I'll say, guys. I'm not pre-ordering the game. To be honest. And to be honest, I may not buy the game when it comes out. If it goes on sale, maybe. But only if when it comes out, if I hear the story is just as good as the first one. If it's just as good, then yes, I will play it. And I would recommend it to people. Because truly, The Last of Us 1 is a masterpiece. But I'm not spending $70. Right? That's the biggest problem. And I'm still skeptical on how faithful it will be. There is a digital deluxe edition. Actually, knowing the prequels in it is really cool. I actually like that a lot. Digital deluxe edition gets you all that. Explosive arrows, dither, punk filter, all that stuff. Buy The Last was Part 1 on Blu-ray disc. Okay. Yep. Last was Part 1 Firefly Edition. Sold out. Pretty much just looks like the collector's edition. Rebuilt from the ground up. Experience the game like never before. Rebuilt and enhanced. Oh, it's showing us some graphical changes. Okay. I mean, yeah, the graphical changes look really just... I mean, it's pretty obvious. Hold on, let me see that one. Oh, that's... I mean, that looks pretty... The camera angle changes. It zooms out. I like that. Yeah, all that stuff. They showed that in the video. But yeah, there you go. So, that is going to do it, guys. So thank you all so much for watching. Let me know in the comments, this one out of any, let me know in the comments, what do you guys think? Because this is a very interesting one. I'm interested. That's what I will say. I am interested, but I can't say I'm super excited. I can't say I'm excited at all. I'm just interested. If it's good, I might check it out. If it's bad, I won't. It's as easy as that. Pray the story does not change. Don't change the story. Don't mess with it. The story is so perfect. Don't. Let me know what you guys think. I will be back tomorrow night with our final Excitenight Spotlight of the week with Soul Hackers 2, a game that I have no idea like what it's about, but I'm checking it out because I've heard good things, and I'm very curious on how it is. So, you'll get my actual reaction completely tomorrow. So make sure you check in for that. That will be our multi-platform spotlight. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Johnny Moore out. Please.